So we are discussing about partnership firm and the computation of book profit and total income of partnership firm. So here in the question we have discussing X, Y, Z are partners of a firm with the equal shares. So who are the partners? X, Y, Z. Three partners and they are sharing in equally. The profit and loss account for the year under 31st March shows a net profit of 2,80,000. So what is the net profit as per profit and loss account? It is 2,80,000. After debiting 7,000 for interest paid to X at 20 percentage. So what is the case of interest? Interest up to 12 percentage is considered or is allowed as a business expenditure. Up to 12 percentage is allowed as a business expenditure, whereas interest in excess of 12 percentage is not allowed as a business expenditure. So here the interest is 20 percentage. So 8 percentage of interest is not allowed as business expenditure. Rupees 60,000 for salary paid to Y. So salary is part of remuneration to partners. So remuneration consists of what are the items? Salary, commission and bonus. Here salary paid to Y is 44,000. Is 44,000. So what about the other two partners X and Z? Nothing stated in the question. So it is stated that only Y is getting 44,000 as salary. Okay. Then the question also doesn't mention whether these partners are working or sleeping. Nothing stated. So we assume that all the partners are working. Compute the book profit of the firm. Compute the book profit of the and 40,000, 44,000 for the rent of business premises. Yes, rent provided for the business premises and it is paid to Z. Z is our partner, is 44,000. In the case of rent, business need some property or a unit for carrying the business operations. Premises is needed. Business need premises to carry out the operations. So sometimes business is having its own premises. Sometimes it may take it for rent. Here in the question, such premises is taken for rent from Z. Z is our partner. Only when the business premises exist, then only a business firm can do or carry on its business activities. So the rent paid to business premises is considered as a is allowed as a business expenditure. So it is part of business. Rent paid to the premises is part of business. Compute the book profit of the firm. Okay, we are asked to compute the book profit. First part. The firm fulfills the conditions of section 184. So when the section 1 conditions of 184 is satisfied, what are the benefits which are availing to us? What are the benefit? Remuneration is allowed to working partners and the interest on capital is allowed at a 12 percentage, can be deducted from the business income of partners. Okay. So first one, computation. So the question is asking about computation. First item, what is the first item? Net profit as per profit and loss account. It's given us 2,80,000. Add, first item is interest in excess of 12 percentage. Here in the question it is given 20 percentage. So you have to find out the interest for 8 percentage. That is not considered as a or not allowed as a business expenditure. So the items which are not allowed as business expenditure should be added with the net profit or loss as the case may be. Here the question consists of net profit. So we have to add business expenditure which are not allowed. Then second one is salary. Salary of 60,000 paid to Y. So salary, whenever the salary comes, it is part of remuneration. So we can directly give the heading as remuneration. Remuneration paid to Y in the form of salary. That will be contributed. Then the third item which is debited in the profit and loss account is rent of business premises. So the rent of business premises is an allowable business expenditure. So we are considering only not allowed business expenditures. So business expenditure for as a form of rent, in the form of rent, is deductible, or it is a business expenditure, so it is not coming part of our solution. Only this much is mentioned in the question, so it doesn't mentions about the credit side of profit and loss account. Only the debit side is mentioned. So from this question we can calculate the book profit in this format. If it is credit side is also given, we have to deduct or less certain income which is not taxable. Okay, but here in the question there is nothing mentioned, so the balance what it is contributing is called book profit. So the question only asks to find out book profit. The firm fulfills the conditions of section 184 as its application or benefit while computing the total income of the firm. But here the question is not demanding to calculate total income, so we need to calculate only book profit. And so the last sentence, firm fulfills the conditions of 184, is mainly focusing with the next part. And this question deals with the first part, that is book profit. Then coming to the next question, ABC. Okay, ABC are partners of a firm with equal shares. The profit and loss account of the firm for the year ended 31st March is as under. Here it is given in the profit and loss account format itself. Interest on capital, debit side, go through the debit side. Interest on capital at the rate of 12%. Three partners, okay, three partners, equal shares. Does it have any concern with our solution? Interest? No. Why? Because interest on capital up to 12% is not at all a problem. Interest on capital in excess of 12% is not allowed as a business expenditure. So here it is only up to 12%. Then comes the second item is salary. Salary here given to three partners, total of 3,60,000. So that is part of remuneration. So that ends the debit side. Then now look at the credit side. Gross profit is 9,000 and net loss is 1,25,000, 1,25,000, 1,25,000. So here the question is dealing with the net loss as per profit and loss account, not regarding the net profit. Then compute the book profit, okay, and the total income of the firm for the assessment year. Okay, you have to find out both. That means book profit as well as total income. The firm fulfills the conditions of section 184. Okay, so first the same aspect we want to find out the book profit. In the case of book profit, what is the first item we have to be included? Net profit as per profit and loss account. But in this question it is given net loss. So we will write net loss as per profit and loss account. Add items which are not allowed as business expenditure. In the question it is given interest on capital up to 12%. So we cannot consider that because it is an allowed up to 12%. So nothing to be recorded in the answer solution part. Salary. Salary is not allowed as business expenditure. So salary is coming under the category of remuneration. So we can write remuneration given to partners. Total of 3,60,000. So from the credit side also there are no items which are not forming part of business. So whatever you are getting is called here book profit. Instead of book profit we are getting a loss. So the answer, final answer we are getting is book loss. Or you can write book profit and you make it as negative 15,000. That also not doesn't make any issues. You can even write book profit and write in the outer column as minus 15,000. That itself indicate it is a loss. Okay, or you can write it as book loss. Okay. So after getting this book profit or loss, based on that we have to compute the total income. So the first item which is to be included for the computation of total income of the firm is book profit or book loss as the case may be. Here the item is book loss. Then, since the conditions of 184 are satisfied, we can deduct the remuneration which is payable to the partners. Actual remuneration. Actual remuneration, how it is availing? Actual remuneration given to the working partners. Here also the question doesn't state whether it is a working or sleeping. Nothing mentioned about sleeping, so we assume that all partners are working. So from the book clause, for the computation of total income, we will deduct the remuneration to the working partners, given to the working partners alone. But for the computation of book profit, there the remuneration comes. No, first part book remuneration comes. That remuneration consists of all partners' remuneration. But while computing the total income, the remuneration consists of remuneration paid to working partners alone and not sleeping partners. So, what are the conditions? Actual remuneration, and second one remuneration under section 40 subsection B. Actual remuneration is given because actual remuneration, for the actual remuneration part, consists of three aspects: salary, bonus and commission. But in this question there is only one aspect which is called salary. So remuneration covers only salary. Then comes the second case. What is the second case? Section statutory section under 40B. How can we compute remuneration under section 40B? On first 3 lakh rupees, 1,50,000 or 90% of book profit, whichever is more. And for the balance of book profit, 60%. Right. But whenever in a question, if a firm is having book loss, you have to consider the statutory limit of 1,50,000 alone in section B. That means under section 40B, you can immediately write 1,50,000. The other two classifications like 90% of book profit and 60% of book profit need not be considered. In the case of book loss, in certain cases, in our case also, in this question, instead of book profit, in the first part we are getting book loss. In such a case, while computing the total income of partners, in the second part, that means remuneration under section 40B, the statutory limit of 1,50,000 can be taken. You don't want to consider the other two criteria, 90% and 60% criteria. You don't want to consider. So actual remuneration is already there. Statutory limit 1,50,000 you can immediately write. You don't want to do further classification. Whichever is less is the remuneration payable to the partners, which can be deducted. So in this question does not mention any other source of income, any other sources or capital gains or nothing. It is mentioned the whatever item we are getting is income from business, and that itself is the total income. So this is what this question state about. Two important things you want to remember is, whenever book loss comes, in the case of computation of statutory limit, the limit is 1,50,000. That is the constant. Okay.